Hola chicas, ¿cómo te vas? I'm back. And here with you to kick up Encuentras, your voice podcast from the sunny shores of Catalunya, Spain. I'm your host, Consuelo Crosby, excited to get back up to speed, but not like the crazy speed of before, and celebrate our 4th year of the podcast. Can you believe it? 4 years. So many beautiful voices of Latinas and our allies who have graciously shared their journeys to inspire us and honor us with the power to hold their stories in truth, so they're never edited, silenced, or forgotten. And as we also kick off Hispanic and Latina Heritage Month, we have to really lean in and represent right now. Now, straight up front, let me just say that I had a difficult time re-entering this space. Because way back in May, when I left you last and I said I was coming back in 2 weeks, I began a healing journey that once I started, I couldn't stop. And I knew that. I knew that I had to be in a space where no one was going to ask what's for dinner, where there were no chores, where there was no I need to go, because I didn't know what was going to happen when I started that journey. You know, when you open that door. I really needed to just find my peace, my joy again, and heal my body from that trauma of my 3 brothers' abuse for the last 5 years. So I really stumbled on how to come back to you in a state of joy when all the ugliness and cruelty is happening on any given day in the US. I don't even want to bring it here. I just want to keep this space of joy. But in a very innocent way, in a very respectful way. It was like trying to time entering a game of jump rope and just standing there, staring at each swing of the rope, wondering, if I enter here now, would I trip up? If I enter now, will I be okay? Will I find my rhythm? For all of us that truly discovered your voice, encuentras your voice, to speak up and speak out, I am forever grateful that you remained a beacon to head towards while on my journey. I couldn't lean in. I had to stay arm's length because there was too much already inside me. But your strength, your resilience, your courage are the very pillars of our cultura that can coexist in a state of joy and healing, rather than defer to complacency and pretend all is good. You are beautiful and invaluable in a world that is losing its moral compass. So much gratitude and blessings for helping us find our way, for being the ones who stayed strong so that we could look up to you, admire you, and want to be like you. Now, for our longtime listeners, I really appreciate all of you who reached out to me personally to check in. Again, it was that touchstone, that beacon. It has been the most powerful time of my life that I have never graced myself with the time to focus on myself. I know that's true for so many of you. I know we can never give ourselves that space, that time, that total, and I mean total disconnect. But it's so necessary. Oh, it's so necessary. And for our new listeners, you have discovered us at an amazing, fiery time of joy and community. We are here for you so that you're not alone in this world, this crazy world, so that you can remember the joy, remember the happiness of camaraderie, and the embrace that someone has your back. Now, we have a lot to catch up on, but let's just get the deets out now for what's ahead in this new season 9. Finally, season 9, starting off our 4th year. I'm going to go into storytelling mode for the next few weeks. You have made me laugh with the comments of, where in the world is Consuelo? Are you coming back? How are you doing? Thank you. So much better. And it's time for an answer. Not just the where, but the why. An answer that has been in the making since 1981. Yes, 1981. This is the prompt for the episode title, The Dreamed Reality. I encourage all of you to begin considering yourselves. in your own dreamed reality. No matter where you are in life, there's always opportunity to start creating the foundation for it. So you're going to hear my version of the dreamed reality just for a few weeks. Why I'm in Spain, what kept fueling it, especially Las Tres Brujas in 1999, on a bench in the middle of nowhere, or actually the Rioja countryside, and the premonitions that kept guiding me along the way. Even getting married here in 2017. Yeah, that is far more info than just a single episode, so we have to at least kick off today with how it got started, so that you might see yourself in your own journey. But even before we start that, I want to share with you the amazing, illuminating women coming your way with their expertise in sustainable fashion. We're going to wrap up a month from now, Hispanic Latina Heritage Month, with these 3 women in sustainable fashion. What better way to feel a part of something big than to lean into women dedicating their livelihoods to a better world for you and me? Sustainable fashion is more than greenwashing and trend now. And I know it seems really daunting and big and we can't do anything about it, but we can. We can because of the hard work and dedication that these women have been doing for decades. Each of these 3 women speak to the real situation that fast fashion has created on our planet. I know, we hear it, we see it, something that can be really difficult to accept, and yet, that is only the fuel for us to collectively learn from them how to joyfully support the rapidly growing community of sustainable fashion. So we're bringing you the independent, sustainable Latina, that is her moniker, Clementina Martinez Marcele, teacher, filmmaker, speaker, and the first Latina to take a stand against fast fashion. And on to Maricela Gonzalez Ginestra, women's denim designer at Levi's. A perfect full circle coming from 3 generations of Levi's wearers, proudly leaning into the inclusive vision of the company. To Toby Vons, native New Yorker, living her best life in Spain, a denim designer who has traversed the world to ensure companies are holding true to the high standards of eco-friendly fashion. All of this life-filling conversation for a feel-good stance, while in the realm of what can be really pure chaos. That's what this season is all about. Yes, we're dealing with our reality, but it's coming with a sense of joy and hopefulness, because that, more than anything, is what we need right now. Pure joy without hiding from the present-day reality or numbing ourselves to what is happening on any given day, but rather leaning into the daily joy that we could create with the least effort at the spur of the moment. Peace, happiness, and a newfound love to being human. So this goes out to anyone feeling the fragility of happiness and how one thing going sideways can crack that hardened sugar shell that we encase ourselves in to contain our real emotions. Stay with us. This is a space to discover how a path to joy can be uncovered in little steps, because it's a really lifelong journey. And the journey is beautiful. Now, as many of you know and live, the firstborn daughter, or only daughter, of Latina families is a heavy birth demand. Unlike the boys, women carry the family, the traditions, the social connections, the food, you name it. But also the resilience to keep the family secure, to care for the parents, being thrown into situations that are way above our age, yet we pull off successfully with a perseverance that's just in our DNA. And an example of this is where this dreamed reality started. Now, like many of us, my first realization of living the 2 lives in one body started as a little niña There were a ton of wait, what? And navigating the languages was just one of the many spin cycles. I did not have Spanish as my first language because by the time I came along in the family, my mother had learned that speaking Spanish made you a target in the American society. And that was in the San Francisco Bay Area. And all these decades later, this is still where we are, targeted for the language we speak. It's disheartening, it's disruptive, and it's traumatizing. And yet the soulful connection to our community only fuels the fire to nurture our language, our traditions and culture. This is what heritage, Hispanic and Latina heritage, is all about. Being the vessel to carry forward the unique and glorious stories that in unison create our current day. No voice should be left unheard. So growing up, not being taught the language, but listening to it every day between my mother and mi tia really had me curious. More to know what they were saying rather than commanding another language. Because every day, over the phone or together side by side, I would hear my mother speaking, desperately trying to understand when my name came up, Consuelito. It's such a fabulous spy code, being able to speak in front of others without them understanding you. But I wasn't having it. So just like any little kid, I began to pick it up. I would hang around the two of them, pretending to be playing, but all the while figuring out words and phrases that gave me a little in to their secret world. I never told them I began to know what they were saying. Again, just like all of us firstborns or only daughters, knowing what your mama is going to do ahead of time seriously helps navigate staying out of trouble. For some reason, when my much older brother started high school, mi mamá decided to dangle a carrot. She declared that anyone who took a language for 4 years in high school could then go to any country that spoke that language. Now, before you get all jealous, mind you, this was a time when most of the world was closed, in war, or struggling to recoup from it. Plus, this was an unproven theory. As Latina mothers go, this was just an educational push, cloaked in a sparkly lure of traveling into the world without the pressures of hope. Now, of course, my brothers didn't take her up on it, but I did. For the girl who wasn't allowed to do anything American, the idea of getting the heck out of the house was pure motivation. I would have practically done anything to be sent off with congratulatory hugs and kisses into the great unknown. Well, I did do the 4 years of Spanish, rising to a level of writing essays in formal Castellano, and girl, I was packing my bags before that final report card came out. I was free, independent, ready to leave the confinement behind and carve a life of adventure with enough Spanish to journey to Spain, my chosen country, and revel in that unknown. Yeah, no, that's not how it went down. I did get to Spain, but far from solita. It was 1981. Franco had just died 6 years prior, and the country was rising out of the dictator's repression and giving birth to their own independence. But what the future would be was far from known. The perfect world for me, filled with the determination to change my life, to make it what I wanted it to be, without the constraints of, well, let's just say, a decision maker. And Barcelona was where I wanted to start that journey. For what little I had gleaned off my textbooks and current day news, Madrid was the center of the palace, of well-mannered people, rules of decency, and that was all a little too close to home for me. But Barcelona, the Catalunyans, were wanting their voice, their language, their way of life restored in freedom, no longer being repressed to hide their very being in the darkness of curtained homes. There, more than anywhere, aligned with me. But as the moment neared and my hopes soared, there was this telltale decision maker, me mama, declaring suddenly, well, I want to go too. And then turned to my father, you should come along so we're safe. My heart sank. But what drove the stake through that heart was her final sentence. And we have to take your little brother because he can't be left behind. And there it was. The perpetual Latina only daughter syndrome, acronym LOADS, piled upon me again. For 4 years, I had done all the hard work, been told by the school that I would not receive the award for language upon graduating because it was going to a native speaker. Done exactly what I was told to do to get my freedom. And instead, I was the animal of burden, the one pulling 3 others along with me, limiting where and what I could do because they were far different from me. Still, none of that mattered. Here's where the joy comes in. None of that mattered when my feet landed on Catalunian soil. Barcelona then was a university town, not a modern city. Traveling across borders on the train involved machine guns toting officers asking for your documents. Waiting for the restaurants to open at 10 p.m. was truly a mind warp. Arroses floating in deep black squid ink, black berets, black mustaches, and dark, dark eyes that when they met your gaze, wondered if you could be trusted. University students hung out on the streets playing guitars. Smoky wood panel tapa bars were a daily staple, and there was absolutely no American influence anywhere. It was glorious and perfect. I was struck. This was home. And even though mi abuelo came from northern Spain where light green eyes prevail, Catalunya must have pulsed in his DNA for me to finally exhale, feeling like I finally belonged. And yet, I couldn't stay. The directive was to get back home, get on the hamster wheel of education and career, be the scholar in the family, one of 2 women in university classes, the first woman to be hired in San Francisco firm of 40 men, and the list goes on and on. Leaving behind a vision of my future, filled with cafecitos and laughter, nights that go into day, wine made from passionate hands, and dishes spiced with the love of generations and tradition over wood-burning flames. And the art, oh my Lord, the art, the only channel that I could freely express myself, getting lost in colors that just blurred across a canvas until I refocused, and magically, the reality appeared. The dreamed reality. Nothing could make me stay away, to give up, and be complacent with the expected life. No way. I couldn't do it. My dreamed reality stayed in focus all these decades. I am patient with my universe. It has an order I don't always understand but accept, for it knows what my path is, and it's up to me to discover it in whatever circuitous route as necessary, to pick up all the pebbles that will one day pave my path to that reality. Instead of dreams, chicas, go further and create your dreamed reality. The one that truly expresses who you are, who you were born to be, and where the world wants you, celebrates you, and there's no need to market yourself. You are known, loved, invited in to share, contribute, and speak your voice out loud. Not in desperation to be heard, but in the soft, intimate tones that keep people enraptured. Your dreamed reality is anything you want it to be, without the constraints of what you already know, without expectations for others, or even yourself. It's not achieved in a linear fashion, but rather on a path of discovery, where even the most random experience fits perfectly into your future. Listen to your soul when it whispers which way to go. Avoid fighting against your intuition or finding reasons to defy it. Lean into the life and world that carries you, shines a light upon you, and rewards you with a joy that you could never have imagined for yourself. Except that you did. Happy Hispanic and Latina Heritage Month from Catalunya, Spain. Revel in this precious gem that we have been born into and thrive, even in the darkest moments. Find the strength to lean into joy. Let it protect you from the harshness of the moment and lead you towards a better day. Thank you for being here in this global voice, for being part of this community, and let's celebrate all year long for this magical fourth year that promises to be a source of joy. So join us next week to learn how three brujas in the wilderness of the Rioja region in 1999 lured me deeper into the Catalunian world that I now call home. Step into your truth, ladies. Ciao. We love that you have subscribed to this podcast and continue to champion women who understand the life of all things Latina. Be sure to follow and subscribe to the Encuentras Your Voice podcast so you don't miss a single episode. They will automatically drop into your listening device each week, and we'd really appreciate if you take a moment to add to the reviews that we already have. Tell us what you like, tell us what you're hoping to hear, and we will get there. Share this with your friends and family to help us grow our comunidad, and keep following us on our social media. To Encuentras Your Voice, we are so grateful to you for helping us grow this community and would love to learn of all the amazing Latinas who you know are creating the world we thrive in. So reach out to me on social media at Encuentras Your Voice, and let's keep leaning into our authenticity in pride. Help us make Encuentras Your Voice the place where you are 100% represented.